Good morning, guys. My morning started out a little rough, I'm not gonna lie. Uh, I went to bed late last night. I did a late video. I woke up on time this morning, but I lost some money in the stock market. So that kind of put a damper on my morning. I didn't lose a lot of money. It's just, when you lose anything unexpectedly, it put a damper on your spirit. And since I'm my own motivator, I don't have anybody to motivate me per se. I have to keep my spirits up. I gotta brainwash myself into thinking, and I gotta brainwash myself into believing that everything's gonna be all right, even when it looks pretty bleak. So you got to remind yourself that you are doing better than probably 50% of the world. If that brings you any comfort, you really have to realize that you are doing better than probably 50% of the world. That's why it's so important to maintain good health. So at least you can have enough strength to come back when you're knocked down. Because if you have bad health and when you get knocked down, you don't have the strength to come back. So you got to keep your health intact. You got to keep your mind strong. So when you get knocked down, you can have the fortitude and the mental, the mind power to come back and keep fighting. Because life is a game of survival. Whoever is the most hungry wins. You don't want to be desperate, but you do want to be hungry. And you want to stay hungry because you got to fight. You have to fight to earn your keep. Even the strongest lion, even the strongest alpha male, the strongest alpha wolf, they all gonna have a day of reckoning. So you have to remember, you have to maintain a balance in your life. You got to stay strong. You have to stay humble. You have to stay passionate. But anyway, this video is about coming out of the prison of the matrix. If you in the prison of the matrix, you don't see the traps that are designed for you. There are traps designed for women. There are traps designed for men. There are traps designed for children, adults, rich and poor. There are traps everywhere. And if you're in the matrix, if you're in the prison of the matrix, you think you're safe. Because the safest place to be in reality is jail, is a prison. Like, those guys got 24-hour armed guards around them all day. Like, you can't not break into a prison. I mean, of course you can't break out, but you definitely cannot break in and rob a prison. Those guys are protected. They get 3 meals a day. They have armed guards. And they have very little freedom. So you got to choose. Do you want to be out here in the free world, fighting for your rights, defending yourself, Or do you want to be in prison? It's the red pill or the blue pill. You take the red pill, you're going to go down a rabbit hole and see how much you're willing to take, how much pain you're willing to take, how much suffering you're willing to take to find the truth and the reality of life. Or you can take the blue pill and go back to sleep. And take whatever they give you, whatever dreams they give you, whatever food they give you, whatever poison they give you. You got to take it all. Whatever vaccine they give you, whatever pharmaceutical drug they give you, you got to take it all. Or you're going to fight for your freedom and for your right to think in a way that's going to benefit you, your family, and your future. Don't let TV think for you. Don't let mainstream media think for you. Don't let your friends think for you. You have to think for yourself and come out of the prison of the matrix. See, we're all in the matrix. I'm in the matrix, but I know I'm in the matrix. I'm not in the prison of the matrix. See? So when you know how to escape the matrix, the prison of the matrix. We're all in the matrix. You can't escape the matrix. The animals, the trees, everybody's in the matrix because the matrix is a program. But the prison of the matrix is man-made. See, so you have to understand that there are different levels to freedom. All levels of freedom are not equal. A homeless person is free. But free to do what? A child is free. They're free to think and have an imagination. But the level of freedom that we are pursuing is the freedom of choice. The freedom to think for ourselves. The freedom to have an imagination and a dream and to pursue those dreams. And a lot of times you don't realize that those other opportunities and options even exist for you. That's why you have to pay attention to what other people are doing. You're like, if he can do that, I can do that too. See, so you gotta realize that you do have options in life. I'm here in Flagstaff. A lot of people in this Flagstaff, this is a prison. And I see the inmates in Flagstaff all the time. Struggling to try to figure out how to just survive in the prison of the matrix. They're not trying to escape. They're trying to survive in the prison of the matrix. Not knowing that they can escape whenever they get ready. They can leave. But you got to prepare a plan. Or you're going to escape to another prison. And see, that's what a lot of people do. See, once you prepare a plan for your escape, you want to make sure that you're escaping to freedom, not to another prison. So when you go from job to job, you go from one plantation to another plantation. So if you want to free yourself and free your mind, you got to study the freedom fighters. You got to study the people that's free. You can't study other inmates. You can't even study the guards because they're in prison too for at least 10 hours a day. I'm sure they can leave, but their mind is still in prison. Their body go out and enjoy the things of the world, their wife, their children, different food. But their mind is still in prison because prison guards eat prison food too. I hope you know that. Prison guards make friends with the prisoners because they're there 10 hours a day for 20 years. All of them don't stay for 20 years, but however long they're there, 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So they spent half or a large portion of their life behind bars. And when a prison guard is in prison, watching prisoners, he can't think for himself just like the inmates can't think for themselves. The prison guard got to follow the rules, just like the inmates have to follow the rules. See? So that's what I'm saying when I say there are levels to freedom. Like the more free that your mind becomes, the less rules apply to you. But the more you're in bondage, psychologically, physically, financially, to the matrix, the more rules there are. You got to pay this bill, you have to pay that bill, you got to jump through all these hoops and run around. Some people it's good. Some people, they're good at following rules. Other people, not so much. So if you're not good at following rules and dotting this I and crossing that T, you may want to consider developing a plan to escape the matrix. You may want to consider that. But right now, guys, got something to do. I'm going to run, handle my business. I'll catch back up with you guys shortly.